Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed that some of the wisest people in the world are those who spend a lot of time alone? Today, I want to share with you the powerful lessons that older women, especially those who live alone, carry within them. These are truths that everyone, young and old, needs to hear. When a woman reaches her later years and lives without a partner by her side, something remarkable happens. She begins to discover strength she never thought she had. Living alone teaches resilience. It proves that solitude does not equal weakness. Sometimes, it is the birthplace of power. Science even supports this. Studies show that women who adapt to living independently often develop sharper problem-solving skills and stronger mental resilience.
Why?
Because the brain, just like a muscle, gets stronger when it faces challenges. Tasks like managing daily routines, making decisions, and solving problems alone actually help keep cognitive health active. Another truth is this: living alone teaches self-care. Older women who live without constant companionship often learn the importance of protecting their health. Simple routines like balanced meals, daily walks, or staying socially connected through friends or community groups have been shown to improve longevity and reduce risks of depression and memory decline. But perhaps the greatest lesson is wisdom itself. Solitude offers space for reflection. It gives time to process life's joys and pains, to understand what really matters. Many older women realize that peace, self-respect, and gratitude are more valuable than material possessions. So, what does life really teach older women who live alone? It teaches courage. It teaches self-reliance. And above all, it teaches us that solitude can be a teacher, not a punishment. These women are not just living alone, they are showing us how to live strong, live wise, and live with dignity. And that, my friends, is a lesson worth listening to. Solitude builds resilience, and nowhere is this more visible than in the lives of older women who live alone. At first, the idea of solitude can sound heavy, even intimidating, because society often associates being alone with loneliness or weakness. Yet, in reality, solitude becomes a powerful teacher. For an older woman navigating her days without a partner beside her, it is not simply about passing time. It is about learning how to stand strong when there is no one else to lean on. The very experience of waking up each morning and deciding how to shape the day without someone else's guidance slowly strengthens the inner core. What begins as an adjustment eventually becomes a form of empowerment. When faced with solitude, resilience is not a choice, it is a necessity. The human mind and body are wired to adapt. Psychology shows us that when people encounter challenges, they either bend under the weight or they rise with new skills. Older women who live alone tend to rise. They learn to manage their homes, their health, and their emotions in ways that build endurance over time. This resilience is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet, steady, and deeply rooted. It is the resilience of someone who knows she can handle the unexpected, whether it is a small household issue or a much larger life change. There is also a physiological element to this. The brain benefits from active problem solving, and solitude creates countless small opportunities for that stimulation. Remembering to take medications on time, preparing meals that meet nutritional needs, handling financial responsibilities, and arranging social connections all keep the mind engaged. Neurologists often emphasize the importance of cognitive exercise to maintain sharpness with age. For women living alone, this exercise happens naturally through daily responsibilities. Over time, this mental workout builds not just sharpness but also confidence that strengthens resilience. Emotionally, resilience grows as women learn to self-soothe and manage their inner world without immediate external support. Solitude teaches the importance of finding comfort in one's own company, of developing patience, and of cultivating a calm heart even in moments of stress. For some, it might be prayer or meditation. For others, it might be hobbies, journaling, or time in nature. Whatever the practice, the result is the same: a stronger emotional foundation. Research in mental health even shows that individuals who spend time alone and use that solitude positively often develop higher levels of emotional regulation, which makes them less reactive to stress and more balanced overall. Physical resilience is another layer. When living alone, An older woman must often find the motivation to care for her body, even when no one is watching. This creates a sense of personal accountability. Regular movement, simple stretching, short walks, or household chores not only maintain mobility, but also reinforce independence. Medical studies consistently reveal that independence in daily living is directly tied to longevity and quality of life. Each time she chooses to move her body or prepare a healthy meal, she is reinforcing both physical and mental resilience. Resilience also develops socially. Living alone does not necessarily mean being isolated, and many older women actively seek out friendships, community activities, or volunteer opportunities. But doing so requires initiative, the courage to step forward, to create bonds, to maintain a sense of belonging. That courage itself is resilience in action, because it means not giving in to fear of rejection or the temptation to retreat inward. Each new connection made, each friendship nurtured, is a reminder that solitude does not weaken. It strengthens the will to stay engaged with life. Independent living sharpens the mind, and this truth is especially evident in older women who navigate life on their own. Every day brings a series of decisions, and when there is no partner or immediate family member in the home to consult, the responsibility for those decisions rests entirely on the individual. Whether it is something as routine as planning meals, keeping up with bills, or managing health appointments, the act of consistently thinking, planning, and acting independently forces the brain to stay active. Just like muscles strengthen with use, the brain thrives when it is challenged, and living alone provides a natural environment for that kind of daily cognitive exercise. Medical research shows that mental activity is one of the key factors in protecting against cognitive decline as we age. The brain has what scientists call neuroplasticity, the ability to form new connections and pathways even later in life. Independent living provides frequent opportunities to engage this plasticity. Older women who live alone are often required to organize, problem-solve, and adapt to unexpected changes, all of which keep the brain engaged in meaningful ways. Something as simple as remembering multiple tasks, juggling schedules, or learning to use new technologies can serve as mental workouts that strengthen memory, focus, and adaptability. In addition to practical daily activities, independent living also promotes sharper critical thinking. Without another voice in the household to immediately offer opinions or alternatives, older women must evaluate options and make choices on their own. This might involve weighing the pros and cons of medical treatments, financial decisions, or even lifestyle adjustments. The process of evaluating risks and benefits strengthens reasoning skills and builds a kind of inner decisiveness that is often underappreciated. Over time, the repeated act of self-directed decision-making strengthens both mental clarity and self-trust, allowing the individual to face new challenges with confidence. Memory is another area that benefits from independence. When living alone, remembering details becomes essential because there is no one else to act as a reminder. From keeping track of medication schedules to recalling social plans or important dates, the brain is encouraged to retain and retrieve information regularly. This consistent mental engagement helps reinforce neural pathways, which in turn supports cognitive health. Light memory exercises such as writing shopping lists, planning weekly menus, or maintaining a calendar of events may seem ordinary, but in reality, they are powerful tools for keeping memory active. There is also a social dimension to how independent living sharpens the mind. Women who live alone often understand the importance of maintaining community ties, which requires intentional effort. Making phone calls, attending group activities, or arranging meetings with friends involves planning, organization, and communication, all of which activate different parts of the brain. Research has shown that social interaction itself is a protective factor against mental decline, and when combined with the effort of independent planning, it becomes an even stronger form of cognitive reinforcement. Even leisure activities chosen independently can contribute to sharper mental function. Whether it is reading, puzzles, gardening, or exploring new hobbies, the freedom to decide and engage without relying on another person cultivates curiosity and mental stimulation. Many older women living alone also embrace lifelong learning, whether through books, online courses, or community workshops, and this pursuit of knowledge strengthens brain activity while fostering a sense of personal growth. Self-care becomes a priority, and this is one of the most profound lessons learned by older women who live alone. When there is no one else in the home to lean on for reminders, encouragement, or shared responsibility, the importance of looking after one's own body and mind rises to the surface. It is no longer something that can be postponed or passed over to someone else's concern. It becomes a personal mission. Daily choices around eating, sleeping, exercising, and managing health form the foundation of this mission, and over time, these small habits become acts of strength rather than chores. Nutrition is often one of the first areas where self-care becomes visible. An older woman living alone has the responsibility of planning her own meals, and while it might be tempting to simplify eating to whatever is easiest, many choose to focus instead on meals that are balanced and nourishing. Medical evidence shows that diets rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains are directly tied to better cardiovascular health, stronger bones, and reduced risk of cognitive decline. By prioritizing what goes on the plate, self-care transforms into a shield against illness and fatigue. The simple act of preparing a meal becomes not just a routine, but a deliberate step toward longevity and vitality. Rest and sleep also move into sharper focus. Without the rhythms of another person in the house dictating bedtimes or daily schedules, women who live alone learn to listen more closely to their own bodies. They notice when fatigue sets in and when energy rises, and they can adjust their rest accordingly. Science is clear about the importance of consistent, restorative sleep in supporting memory, mood regulation, and immune health. By protecting their sleep routines, older women are protecting their overall well-being, and this awareness grows stronger when they are solely responsible for their daily health outcomes. Physical activity is another essential part of self-care. Living alone often means relying on oneself to keep moving, whether through structured exercise or through everyday tasks. Walking, stretching, gardening, or even simple household chores contribute to maintaining mobility, flexibility, and circulation. Medical research consistently points to the benefits of even light activity in reducing risks of diabetes, heart disease, and osteoporosis. In the absence of a partner to encourage them, women find their own sources of motivation, which builds discipline as well as strength. Each step taken, whether around the home or outdoors, is a commitment to preserving independence and vitality. Self-care also extends beyond the physical body to include emotional and mental health. Older women living alone recognize that their emotional state directly affects their quality of life. Practices such as journaling, meditation, creative hobbies, or connecting with friends become tools for maintaining inner balance. Light psychological research highlights the value of self-directed coping strategies in reducing anxiety and supporting resilience. Without a partner to share immediate concerns, women learn to become their own caretakers of the heart, finding ways to soothe, uplift, and motivate themselves through life's changes. Preventive healthcare becomes a priority as well. Attending regular medical checkups, monitoring blood pressure, or keeping track of medications all fall under the responsibility of the individual. When a woman commits to these routines without external prompting, it shows a deep understanding of the importance of proactive health management. This sense of accountability is a form of self-care that goes beyond reaction to illness. It is about preventing problems before they arise, a mindset that becomes particularly valuable with age. Self-care also involves creating an environment that supports health. A woman living alone may choose to arrange her living space in ways that make her feel safe, comfortable, and inspired. This might mean decluttering for easier movement, keeping plants for fresh air, or setting aside a corner for relaxation and reading. Environmental psychology demonstrates that surroundings have a direct impact on mood and stress levels. By curating their space intentionally, older women are practicing a subtle but powerful form of self-care that supports both the body and the spirit. Daily challenges strengthen problem-solving, and this is one of the most natural but powerful aspects of life for older women who live alone. Without another person in the household to automatically step in when something goes wrong, every small obstacle becomes an opportunity to think, adapt, and act. These challenges can range from simple everyday tasks to unexpected issues that require quick decisions, and each one exercises the mind's ability to evaluate, strategize, and resolve. What may appear from the outside as routine actually becomes a daily training ground for keeping cognitive skills sharp and building confidence in one's ability to manage life independently. Something as ordinary as managing household tasks presents opportunities for problem solving. When an appliance stops working, when bills need to be organized, or when schedules must be adjusted to fit in errands, an older woman living alone must navigate these situations without leaning on someone else in the house. Instead of becoming obstacles, these scenarios stimulate critical thinking. Each time she figures out how to repair, replace, or adjust to what is broken, she reinforces her ability to overcome. Research shows that problem-solving activates multiple areas of the brain, particularly those associated with memory, reasoning, and adaptability. These small victories accumulate, strengthening both the brain's health and the individual's sense of self-reliance. Health management is another area where challenges bring out problem-solving skills. Living alone means keeping track of medical appointments, medications, and preventive care independently. When questions arise about symptoms or treatments, women often find themselves researching, asking professionals, and weighing options to make informed decisions. This process of gathering information and evaluating it engages analytical thinking and keeps decision-making faculties active. Medical studies suggest that individuals who participate actively in their own healthcare tend to show better adherence to treatments and healthier outcomes, a reflection of how daily problem-solving contributes directly to overall well-being. Even emotional challenges require problem-solving. Without a partner to share immediate frustrations or emotional burdens, women living alone often develop strategies for managing stress, anxiety, or sadness on their own. This may involve creating calming routines, finding supportive communities, or redirecting energy into hobbies and creative outlets. Each time they face and overcome an emotional hurdle, they demonstrate adaptive problem-solving at a personal level. Psychology describes this as emotional resilience, the ability to regulate emotions and respond to challenges in constructive ways, and solitude often strengthens this ability through consistent practice. Technology is another modern area where problem-solving becomes a frequent exercise. Navigating online platforms, setting up devices, or learning new tools can initially seem intimidating, but each successful step provides not only practical benefits, but also cognitive stimulation. Studies confirm that learning new technologies later in life enhances memory and mental flexibility, and for women living alone, this type of challenge often comes up naturally in daily life. Every time they learn to troubleshoot an app or figure out how to connect with family through video calls, they are practicing problem-solving in a way that keeps their minds agile. Even in social interactions, problem-solving plays a role. When living alone, maintaining friendships and social ties requires initiative, planning, and often negotiation of schedules and transportation. These interactions demand foresight and adaptability, especially when balancing multiple responsibilities. The act of reaching out, arranging details, and navigating social dynamics calls for cognitive engagement and reinforces the ability to think ahead. This layer of problem-solving supports both mental sharpness and emotional connection, showing how daily challenges extend into all areas of life. In essence, each day offers countless situations that demand solutions, from the smallest inconvenience to more complex issues. For older women living alone, these challenges are not interruptions but opportunities, and with each one faced and resolved, their problem-solving abilities grow stronger and more refined over time. Reflection nurtures wisdom, and this becomes especially true for older women who live alone, because solitude naturally provides the space and quiet that encourages deeper thought. When the home is not filled with constant noise or distraction, moments of silence turn into opportunities for self-examination and understanding. Life experiences that may have once been rushed through or overlooked now have time to be revisited with clarity. Older women in solitude often find themselves reflecting on choices, relationships, successes, and mistakes, and through this reflection, a more balanced perspective emerges. Wisdom is not born from simply living long but from examining and learning from the years lived. Psychology teaches us that reflection is a key process in developing insight. When individuals take time to think about past experiences, The brain consolidates lessons and makes connections that might have gone unnoticed during the immediacy of the moment. For women living alone, the absence of constant external influence means these reflections are not rushed or overshadowed by another's perspective. They are free to process events on their own terms, which often leads to deeper self-awareness and stronger clarity about what truly matters in life. Reflection also nurtures emotional wisdom. Older women who live alone often have the time and mental space to examine their emotions more carefully. They can sit with feelings of joy, grief, regret, or gratitude without distraction. This intentional processing strengthens emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and regulate one's emotions, as well as empathize with others. Research shows that people who regularly engage in reflection tend to experience lower stress levels and stronger emotional stability because they learn to interpret their feelings instead of being controlled by them. Medical science connects reflective practices such as journaling, meditation, and mindful thinking with measurable benefits to brain health. Studies reveal that reflection and mindfulness can reduce cortisol levels, improve mood, and even enhance memory retention. For older women, the act of looking inward is not just spiritual or philosophical, it is also a practical tool for maintaining cognitive and emotional well-being. Living alone encourages this because the slower pace and solitude provide ideal conditions for introspection. Reflection often leads to redefined priorities. When older women have time to think deeply about their lives, many recognize that material possessions or societal expectations are far less important than peace, kindness, and meaningful connections. This wisdom comes from sorting through years of experiences and distilling them into clear truths. Reflection allows them to see patterns in life, how patience often yields better outcomes than haste, how gratitude softens hardship, and how forgiveness frees the mind from carrying heavy burdens. These insights are not abstract but lived, tested, and confirmed through decades of trial and error. Wisdom from reflection also influences how older women interact with the world around them. Their advice tends to carry more weight because it comes from thoughtful consideration, not impulsive reaction. They may be slower to judge and quicker to understand because they have spent years looking at life from multiple angles. The quiet moments of solitude foster empathy and perspective, qualities that often make them valued guides for younger generations. Reflection further nurtures spiritual wisdom, whether through faith, philosophy, or personal beliefs. Time alone often deepens one's connection with larger questions about purpose and meaning. Without the constant pull of daily distractions, women living alone can contemplate life in a way that fosters inner peace and acceptance. This sense of perspective becomes one of their greatest strengths, allowing them to navigate aging with grace and to find significance in both the joys and the struggles of life. Living alone fosters dignity and courage, and this is one of the quiet but profound lessons that older women embody through their daily lives. Dignity emerges from the ability to stand independently, to manage one's own affairs without relying entirely on others, and to preserve self-respect even in moments of difficulty. Courage reveals itself in the willingness to face uncertainty, to endure solitude, and to carry on despite the natural challenges that aging can bring. These qualities are not abstract ideas but lived realities, cultivated in the everyday routines and decisions of women who walk through life without a constant companion by their side. Dignity is deeply tied to independence. When an older woman rises in the morning, prepares her meals, maintains her home, and manages her responsibilities on her own, she demonstrates not only competence, but also self-worth. Medical and psychological studies highlight that maintaining autonomy in later life has a powerful effect on well-being. It reinforces identity, provides a sense of purpose, and protects against feelings of helplessness. Every choice made independently, no matter how small, contributes to the preservation of dignity. Living alone requires a woman to claim her role as the leader of her own life, and that act itself nurtures self-respect. Courage is equally essential because solitude can present both practical and emotional challenges. Choosing to face life without the constant presence of another person requires a kind of bravery that often goes unnoticed. It means dealing with fears of loneliness, health concerns, or unexpected emergencies with resolve rather than retreat. Courage also shows in the willingness to step out into the world, to maintain friendships, and to engage in community activities even when it might be easier to withdraw. This bravery becomes a daily practice, cultivated through repeated acts of facing the unknown with determination. There is also courage in vulnerability. Older women who live alone learn that it is not weakness to ask for help when needed, but strength to recognize their limits without losing their self-worth. Balancing independence with interdependence is an act of wisdom, and it allows dignity to coexist with humility. Medical professionals often emphasize that those who acknowledge their needs and seek appropriate support tend to live healthier and more fulfilling lives. Courage, therefore, does not mean never needing others. It means moving forward without fear of being judged for doing so. Living alone also fosters dignity by encouraging authenticity. Without the constant influence of another person's expectations, women find the freedom to live in alignment with their own values and preferences. They can shape their daily lives according to their rhythms, interests, and beliefs. This authenticity strengthens self-respect because it is rooted in honesty and self-acceptance. Reflection on life's journey often deepens this sense of dignity, reminding them that they have endured, adapted, and survived countless transitions, and that their worth is not diminished by solitude, but affirmed by it. Courage further manifests in the willingness to embrace aging itself. To live alone in older years means confronting the realities of change, slower movement, health fluctuations, and the passage of time, without constant reassurance. Facing these truths with grace requires resilience and inner strength. Many women cultivate a perspective that views aging not as a decline but as an achievement, a stage of life where dignity is preserved by choosing how to respond to challenges rather than allowing circumstances to define them. Dignity and courage also shape how these women are seen by others. Their independence and quiet strength serve as examples for younger generations, showing that aging does not have to mean dependence or loss of identity. They model the truth that dignity is not given but earned, and courage is not a single act but a lifelong pattern of facing life honestly. In this way, living alone becomes not just a circumstance, but a profound expression of character, where dignity and courage grow stronger with every choice made in solitude. If you found these insights valuable and believe more people should hear the powerful lessons life teaches older women who live alone, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next upload. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share what lesson resonated with you the most. Your voice adds value to this community, and together, we can keep spreading wisdom, strength, and inspiration to people all around the world.